By now, you've already heard a lot of what I think about the Indiana Fever Las Vegas Aces game today. If you were on board with Ben Daniel and myself for Sunday Night Heat, now I'm just going to break it down some more for you in a more relaxed type of setting rather than a back and forth situation. So stick with me here as we look at this game and the fact that the Indiana Fever once again blew a double-digit lead, blew an 8-point lead with 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, got outscored by 16 points over the final 14 minutes, and for the third time this season, completely choked away a sizable lead in the final period. It's just becoming something that's the norm. And there's nothing I know why it is, but and I see what's going on, but it doesn't seem like it's anything that the Indiana Fever are actually doing anything to fix. And of course, that all starts with Stephanie White. Anyhow, welcome back everyone to another edition of Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. We talk facts over feelings. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Show. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Appreciate everyone who jumped on board Sunday Night Heat, even those of you who like to go back and forth and say disrespectful stuff in the comments. It's par for the course. I understand it, and but I'm not going to tolerate that stuff. So the more disrespectful stuff I see come out in live comments, I'm just going to block you. Just the way it's going to roll going forward because it's not worth the headache of having to go back and forth with people who are being nasty. I'm trying to be Ben and I are entertaining, trying to have make it a good time, even if it wasn't a very good time watching this game today. But realistically, I'm not going to deal with people telling me to go f myself on a video that I'm doing live. Like I'll deal with it on individual comments, on recordings, but on live videos, you can miss me with the stuff that you want to throw at me with the FUs and the calling me the B word and stuff like that. Yeah, man, it ain't gonna work. Not where I'm from. You want to call me that? You can find me down here in Pompano Beach, Florida. We could have a conversation like grown ass adults. But if that's what you're gonna do, you might as well stay off because I'm gonna kick you right off of the freaking live real fast. Don't worry about it. Anyhow, let's talk about this game. Indiana Fever once again blow a double-digit lead, leading by at least 8 points with 4.5 minutes to go. Get outscored by 16 points in the final 14 minutes. This is the second straight game that they have blown a sizable lead. Second straight game they have gotten absolutely run off the floor in the final 14 minutes. Just an atrocious form of basketball. And of course, it starts with Stephanie White. This coach continues to show that she has no idea what she's doing. She has no idea how to manage this group. She does not adjust. She does not change things up. It's the same thing over and over and over again. And oh, by the way, oh yeah, she decided to grace us with her presence and coach the team. Oh, how very, very generous of her. It was so critically important that she show up again after she disappeared for more personal reasons. I keep telling you, those personal reasons are dog shit. It couldn't have been that damn personal that you missed a game on Thursday and you're now back on Sunday. How horrible was the situation? People don't miss games, coaching games, playing games for personal reasons that are not that damn important. Quite frankly, it's becoming ridiculous. And you have a coach there once again who stood there watching while her team blew a lead, stood on the sideline like this, doing what she does, not doing anything, and they blew the lead once again. Blew it again. It is what it is. It's what she does. 57-53. She doesn't call a timeout until it's 69-63. I'm sorry. Indiana's winning 57-53. She doesn't call a timeout until they're losing 69-63. That said, there are other problems besides Stephanie White, and she's a major component of it because we are now seeing a team that looks completely different than the one we saw last year. Despite the fact they went 20-20, we saw a much more free-flowing team that moved the ball well, that looked like it was happy to be out there playing, that was competing, that was fighting, that was clawing, that was scratching, that was doing everything that it had to do in order to win a game. Despite the fact they started off the season so poorly, you always felt that there was something more in that team. You always knew, we always felt that, Caitlin Clark is going to be that player she's going to figure this thing out because you got a player who's obviously tired. She just got off of playing a lengthy college season, and now she's jumping right into the WNBA season. Gets no chance to acclimate herself with her teammates, and now here she is having to be the best player on her team as soon as she walks in the door. Well, that obviously has its drawbacks. It has its drawbacks because you don't know each other. You have a very short training camp, not enough games for them to actually play in so they can get used to each other. And then you just jump out there and you play 11 games in 20 days, a lot of tough games against top level teams, and you find yourself in a massive hole early on in the season. But you knew there was something there. You knew there was something there. Well, fast forward to now, and the Indiana Pacers and the Indiana Fever are now 6-7, and you're asking yourself that same question: is there something there? And the reality is, I don't see it. I don't see something there. I see a team that is scuffling over itself. I see a team that doesn't look happy playing. I see a team that doesn't look prepared. I see a team that looks like once it gets into a funk, it has no idea how to get out of it. I see a team that doesn't play with a lot of effort. I see a team that gets beat to lose balls. I see a team that misses easy buckets. I mean, how many missed layups are we going to have to look at before we say, for Christ's sakes, enough is enough already? And I will say this: you had a game today in which you got absolutely no production from your bench. You have Kelsey Mitchell, who fumbles the ball off her leg, who's largely playing one-on-one basketball. You have Aaliyah Boston, who sets the softest screens on the planet, doesn't really know how to set a real screen that's actually useful, that creates mismatches. About the only time she knows how to set a screen is when she's going to slip the screen and go right dart to the basket, and Caitlin Clark finds her for a layup, which is largely what she did in the first half. Second half, guess what? A real coach, Becky Hammond, adjusts. A real coach, Becky Hammond, says, nah, you're not going to keep doing that to us. Not to mention, let's not forget the fact that Asia Wilson in the first half was horrendous. It wasn't anything special that Aaliyah Boston was doing defensively on her. She was just missing a whole bunch of 4-foot bunnies. She missed a bunch of easy looks. But you know what a big time player does? Second half, that's not what happened. Second half, Asia Wilson takes over the game. She dominates. She hits basically every shot she takes in the second half. She has Aaliyah Boston doing the typical incredulous, oh my God, look that she's so well known for doing. Aaliyah Boston was dominating that first half matchup. Second half, another story. Coupled with the fact that realistically, Caitlin Clark continues to look awful. You can think what you want to think. Is she healthy? We don't know. You see issues with burst off the dribble. You see issues with maybe even lift on her shot. There are issues going on right now. Defensive issues with Caitlin Clark. She's a good help side defensive player, in my opinion. She is a good help. She understands angles. She understands the game. On ball defense, she's just not good at all. And it's not about not having the ability, but there's an effort problem. There is a major effort problem when it comes to Caitlin Clark defending on the ball. She's very upright. She doesn't get into a crouch. She doesn't fight through screens. She just nonchalantly goes around the screen. She gets beat on the dribble off the bounce almost every time, and then she's trailing and just lets them go. And then someone has to help, or they kick it out, or they dump it in for somebody else who's open. You get a layup. If you're not paying attention to it, you need to start paying attention to it, because defensively, she is hurting this team with her on the ball defense. There's a reason that Indiana put her on Kia Stokes, because Kia Stokes is useless. But guess what? Vegas didn't play Kia Stokes all game. And when Kia Stokes wasn't in the game and Caitlin Clark actually had to guard a guard, she got cooked. Now, you look at the offensive perspective of it. Guess what? She has 8 assists at halftime. Easy dump downs to Leah Boston for layups. But then that all disappeared. Caitlin Clark is constantly trying to thread the needle. She's constantly trying to make the perfect pass. She finishes with 10 assists, but she also finishes with 8 turnovers. She had a 3 turnover stretch in the final 5 minutes of the game that basically lost the game. If you don't believe it, go watch it. It's 69-69. She gets her pocket pick layup. It's 71-69. They inbound the ball. She dribbles the ball. She tries to pass it over to Leah Boston. For what reason, I have no idea. She loses the ball. She just lost the ball, gave the ball away. Jackie Young, layup, foul, and one, 71-66. Just like that. Just like that, she blew the game. Yeah, she blew the game right there. I can say whatever I want about Stephanie White and the fact that I think they're completely unprepared. When you have a 69-69 game, I'm sorry, 69, so 71-69, 74-69, and then what happens? They get a bucket, and then down again. Caitlin Clark jacks a 30-footer. Oh, did I mention she was 1 for 10 from three? And she just keeps on shooting bad threes. One of the things that we thought we would see this year from Caitlin Clark was a lot more mid-range. We're not seeing it. We're seeing her settle for deep 30-foot threes. Not every three has to be a 30-foot three. Not every three has to be a logo shot. Not every shot has to have incredible levels of difficulty. But those are the shots that she almost chooses to take because she enjoys taking them. Those shots are not helping the team. 7 of 20, 19 points, 10 rebounds. Don't let the 19 points fool you. She scored 6 points in the final minute and a half once they were down 9. Game was over. Those were fluffery. Those weren't real. She finished the game really with 13, 10, and 8. 8 turnovers. 35 turnovers in the last 5 games. 35. People, you cannot sit here with a straight face and call this acceptable. It's not acceptable. She's loose with the ball. She doesn't protect the ball. I love Caitlin Clark. I love the things that she's able to do. But Caitlin Clark has to start playing a more mature brand of ball. This isn't LA Fitness. This isn't Iowa. You can't try to force every pass in like you're Patrick Mahomes. Sometimes the easy play is the right play. Sometimes the hockey assist is the right pass. It's not just a bullet pass down to Leah Boston or some Hail Mary, pass down the floor. Yeah, some of the turnovers could very well be attributed to teammates. Guess what? You already know that they don't catch the ball very, very well. You already know it. You already know it. So how about we start making good decisions and not trying to jam the ball in every single time. And that has to be looked at. She's averaging 7 turnovers a game over the last 5 games. 10, 4, 6, 7, 7, 6, and 8. That's the last 5 games, people. And that's not going to win basketball games. Caitlin Clark has to be exceptional every game for this team to win. They don't have a backup point guard. They just don't. She cannot continue to average 7 turnovers a game and then win games. It's just that simple. That number has got to be no more than 3 or 4 every game because the turnovers kill momentum. They kill what you got going on. They take you out of rhythm on top of that. And they obviously give layups the other way. They give layups the other way. They had 18 turnovers, which turned into 28 points for the Las Vegas Aces. 28 points. That's a lot of points off of turnovers, people. A lot of points. You can blame all the things you want to blame. You can go cry about referees. You can cry about the referees until you're blue in the face. If you commit 18 turnovers a game, you're going to lose. As a team, if you commit 18 turnovers a game, you're going to lose most of those games. It's just that simple. This team right now is at a massive crossroads. They're playing Seattle on Tuesday. They have a bunch of winnable games over the next few. But again, you look at the schedule. Can you mark down any game and you say, "Oh, that's a win"? No, because they're consistently inconsistent. And they're consistently inconsistent within a game, within a half, hell, within a quarter. This is a team that's up 10 points or 9 points in the third, and by the end of the quarter, the game is nip and tuck because they do things that don't make sense. Let's keep jacking bad threes because you know what? This is what we do. Let's have nothing that we can do to counteract what the Vegas is doing because guess what? This is what we do. End of the day, Caitlin Clark has to play at another level for this team to win games. They have no bench. They're getting no production off of the bench most of the time. And she's 1 for 17 now over the last 2 games from three-point range. And I will put this back out there again. Is she healthy? I don't think so. But guess what? I don't care because she's on the court and she's chosen to play. It's that simple. She's chosen to play. And if you choose to play, I have to assume that you are healthy. If you're healthy enough to play, you're healthy enough to not go 1 for 17 from 3 over the last 2 games. Or be smart enough to know that if you're 1 for 17 over the last 2 games from 3, that you attack the basket like a demon and stop jacking threes. But this team right now is at a crossroad. Where is it going to go? You're a third of the way into the season. You're a third of the way into the season. And a team that I thought was a surefire title team barely right now looks like even so much as a playoff team. But anyhow, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. I know this is not pleasant, but this is real. This is real. And accountability has to start at the top. We already know that Stephanie White has no accountability. Caitlin Clark has to have that accountability. She has to know that the turnovers are killing her team right now. That's all I got. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. This is Rudy's Rant, her game, her way, women's basketball. Come on now.